In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this amazing voice AI agent using ElevenLabs that will have the ability to access additional tools via this AI agent n8n that can make independent decision to use what tool based on the user's request that's coming in from this ElevenLabs voice AI agent. Depending on the user request, our AI agent inside n8n will independently make a decision to retrieve information from whatever tool that it has access to, including vector database, Google Sheets, the ability to check available times for setting up an appointment, create appointments, has access to real internet live data via our SERP API, and we can add much more to this based on the use case we have. I'm going to do a quick demo of this first so that way you can see exactly how this thing works and how it can communicate and retrieve information by reaching out to n8n. This is part of the deep dive series that I'm doing for voice AI agent using ElevenLabs for my school community. I'll put the link in the description so that way you can just basically import all of this data and these workflows directly to your n8n instance by basically going here, clicking on import from file, and you can upload the JSON file that's at the bottom of each of these tutorials that are on this school community deep dive series for voice AI agents. So this particular voice AI agent is basically a support or assistant for my AI workshop AI agency that I have. So basically we can embed this on our website and then it'll be able to have the ability to again set up appointments, provide more information. So let's go ahead and test this thing out so you see exactly what this thing is capable of. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the test workflow so that way our webhook is listening to the incoming information. And then when I head over here and click on call this AI agent.
Hi, I'm Jarvis. How can I help you today?
Hey Jarvis, I wanted to see if you could provide me some more information about the school community, the AI workshop school community, and how can I join?
The AI Workshop School community is a collaborative space where AI enthusiasts and automation professionals come together to share insights, solve challenges, and learn from each other. You can join the community through the AI Workshop website, where you'll find options to become a member and start accessing exclusive resources, tutorials, and expert connections. If you have any more questions or need specific details about joining, just let me know.
Actually, I wanted to see if I can book an appointment for December 25th at 11 a.m.
Unfortunately, there are no available slots for a consultation call on December 25th at 11 a.m. Would you like me to check for an available time on a different date or perhaps a different time on December 25th?
Yeah, let's do at 12 p.m. on December 5th.
You can book an appointment for 12 p.m. on December 25th, as that time is available. Please provide me with your email address and phone number, and I will go ahead and book the appointment for you.
Yeah, my email address is jacksmith@gmail.com, and phone number is 510-335-2240.
Your consultation call has been successfully booked for December 25th, 2024, from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. You can join the call using the provided link in the email that you will receive shortly. If you have any further questions or need assistance, feel free to ask.
Yeah, I also wanted to know about how AI Workshop can help my business.
AI Workshop can help your business by streamlining operations and automating various tasks, which allows you to focus on what truly matters. Our AI agents can handle day-to-day activities such as managing emails,
Okay,
scheduling,
thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate it. Thank you, that's all.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could assist you. If you have any more questions in the future or need help, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.
All right, so that was kind of the full demo. I just wanted to showcase how this voice AI agent can have the ability to access these multiple tools depending on what the user is asking. Again, there is a little bit of lag, but we can play around with different large language models and I can explain how that could be improved and how we can add additional prompting to it to be able to make that conversation a little bit smoother. But this, again, the whole point of this demo is to just showcase and show you how to connect and give multiple tools to this voice AI agent. So as you saw in the demo, initially I asked it a question about the school community, and on the prompt I'm going to explain how to direct the AI agent to reach out for a particular information and how to add additional tools to be able to give this AI agent the understanding that whenever the user is asking something about something particular, then which tool to use, and then we can send that information to our AI agent on n8n, and then this AI agent will be able to make independent decision as far as which tool that it has access to it could use to retrieve that information. In our particular case, when I initially asked it the question about the school community, it reached out to the vector database here, because this is all of the information about the school community is sitting right here. And then afterwards, I asked it to provide me the availability based on my calendar. I asked it, hey, is the 11 a.m. time slot available? And it correctly said, no, it's not available. So therefore, it reached out to the correct tool, checked the availability, and then when I asked it to book an appointment for 12 p.m., which that was an available slot, it was able to understand that because it checked the availability and it saw that that slot is open, and then it utilized the create appointment setting to create that consultation call with the email of the person. And again, it also said that it will send the appointment information via the email, which it does. I've tested it before. I mean, obviously this jacksmith@gmail.com is just a email that I just set it, but if you wanted to actually do this, and I tested out with my own email, it sends you a nice email with that confirmation, so it's completely automated. And then I've also given it this Google Sheet tool, which has the ability to utilize this from AI functionality to dynamically grab the information, the contact information, and save it to our Google Sheet for further processing in the future. And again, this is just a few tools that I've attached to it. So this will just showcase how you can actually utilize the voice AI agent prompt system and tool usage that it has to even attach more tools to this AI agent to make this voice AI agent very, very powerful. Anyway, so that's kind of like the overall understanding or gist of this, how the process will work. So let's go ahead now, walk through and see exactly what the prompts looks like, how to set up this voice AI agent inside our conversational AI voice agent by ElevenLabs, and then what kind of tools to attach to this so that you can call additional tools based on the user request. Again, this is part of the deep dive series that I'm doing for my school community called Voice AI Agents. So if you're interested in walking through step by step and understanding how to build multiple different AI agents, I go through step by step and explain every single aspect of this voice AI agent tool for ElevenLabs, how to connect using webhooks. So if you're interested in that, please make sure you join the community. Our community is great. We have a great group of people who are all interested and are all like-minded, and they're there to learn from each other, collaborate with different projects. We have calendar calls where you can jump in and ask any questions if you get stuck in any of these things that I'm building. And then obviously all of my AI automations, including all of the JSON templates, are all available in the school community as soon as you join. So please make sure you join, because this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of this great tool n8n and get a comprehensive understanding on how to learn and build amazing AI agents. I'll put a link in the description. Hopefully I'll see you there. All right, let's get back to this AI agent and walk through step by step and see the different aspects of this. So let's go ahead, and first I'm going to focus on the voice AI agent, and I'll come back to the n8n here. So let me go ahead and maximize this. So the way to set this up is, first of all, you have to have an ElevenLabs account. Make sure you have an account. Once you do that, then you'll come here to the conversational AI agent. So this is a newer product, and right now it's on, I believe it's on beta, but I think it works really well right now. I know VAPI exists, but I think ElevenLabs is trying to really make a statement in this market with this new product, which again is incredible, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get better and better over time, and it most likely will dominate the market because it is very powerful. But anyway, so once you create this, once you come to this agent section right here, you can click on create an AI agent, or you can come right here and click on this plus button, and you can create an AI agent from here as well. I'm going to click on this AI agent. So there's multiple templates that it already has depending on your use case. So let's say if you're creating a support agent, you can just click on this. The difference between a blank template and a support agent or video game character or math tutor is that it has already prompts in there that are predefined to give you kind of a head start. But we would start with a blank template. So when you click on blank template, you can just name this agent. So I'm just going to say test 1. Obviously, I'm not going to walk through step by step, otherwise this video is going to be like 5 hours long. I did a video earlier also that I built a support agent for a Joe's Diner, which was like an imaginary restaurant. So make sure you check that out as well, because that's kind of an introductory to this, and it's a little less complicated because it has less tools access to it. So this one is a bit more comprehensive because we're giving it multiple tools inside n8n. But anyway, so once you click on that AI agent, once you create it, once you name it, so this is where it will come initially. So this one, for example, I used that math tutor. So as you can see, it gives you that first message saying, hey, hi, I'm Matilda, what shall we cover today? And this is giving you a simple system prompt. So let's go ahead and let me explain the rest of these sections and how you can build this comprehensive AI workshop tool in my case, and then for you, you can build whatever you want, right? So the first thing is, most of the time you're going to spend on agent and voice here. So on the agent section, this is where you can really customize this thing and give it a lot more tools to be able to access additional thing outside of this particular app. So the first thing, obviously, this is the first message. This is how this voice AI agent will greet the customers. So I just said, hey, hi, I'm Jarvis, how can I help you today? You can put whatever you want here, and it will exactly read how the first agent whenever a customer interacts with this. The agent language, the great thing about ElevenLabs is it has access to multiple languages, so that way if you're building this outside of US or an English speaking country, this will behave exactly just like it would. But for testing purposes, I would always suggest starting with English. So after the first message, the next thing is the system prompt. So the system prompt is very important because this is how you can direct this voice AI agent and give it a persona, give it a personality, give it a context of the conversation, when to call the tool outside of this voice AI agent, and then also much more as far as how it can behave or how it's supposed to behave with your customers if you're embedding this on a website. So for mine, I just said, hey, you're a support agent named Jarvis. You're very friendly, enthusiastic. You work for a company called AI Workshop to help customers with anything they need. Zubair is the owner of AI Workshop Agency and AI Workshop School Community. And I have given this a main goal saying, hey, your main goal is to convert the customers that are visiting my website, my AI agency workshop website, which is this right here, right? Its main job is to convert the customer to set up a consultation call with me if they have a business, or if they are interested about the school community. I've given it the kind of instruction to kind of give them the link to the school community so they can join. So that's kind of the main persona and the main goal that I've set via this system prompt with it. We'll come back to this in a second because this is where I'm giving it access to additional tools and when to call out these tools. But let me quickly go to the bottom here. So for the large language models, you have multiple large language models that you can have access to. The fastest one is the Gemini 1.5 Flash as far as the interaction with the customer. However, the problem with this is that it's not very smart when it comes to utilizing external tools. So in my case, I'm giving it GPT-4o Mini because this kind of has that balance of being smart enough to call additional tools, function really well, and then on top of that, it is fast that you can have a decent conversation. And initially, when you saw that lag, like I said, we can always play around with this as far as telling the customer whenever it's reaching out to an additional tool that, hey, let me look that out for you, look up that information for you, or I'll be right back, so we can always do that to make the conversation natural. For me, I just basically set it just because, again, for the demo purposes, I wanted to show exactly what this looks like with this plain prompt that we provided in the system prompt. But anyway, so that's the large language model. Like, you select temperature, don't worry about that. Limit token usage for now, you can just use it as it is. The standard, which is -1, and then this one is kind of like right at 0.5. Knowledge base, I've just given it my website's URL. There's multiple ways you can add knowledge to this. So you can add files, obviously, you can add a URL, or you can just add a plain text. And if you wanted to know more details how to add files and plain text, please watch my previous video, because when I created that voice AI agent for that Joe's Diner, which is basically a voice agent that has the ability to book reservation for the restaurant, I gave that information about the restaurants and the menu itself directly in this knowledge base via files and then also the text. But in this case, I'm just using my AI workshop.me, which is my AI workshops URL right here. All right, so in the bottom, so this is where this magic of tools comes in, where we can give this voice agent the ability to call external tools via webhook, and the way to communicate this information back and forth between this ElevenLabs voice agent and our n8n is done via our tools here. So the way you can add a tool to this voice AI agent is either via webhook or a client. We don't have to worry about the client because we're going to be utilizing n8n, so therefore we're going to stick to the webhook. So when you click on webhook, the configuration has several parameters here. The first one is the name. You need to name this tool so that way whenever this voice agent is having an interaction with the customer, we need to be able to prompt it to say, hey, whenever this happens, use this tool. And in my case, as I was saying before, so after I gave it that persona, I said that if the customer asks anything related to the school community, use the school wisdom to retrieve information. And this school wisdom right here, this is the name of the tool, as you can see right here, which has the name and the description, and you want to make sure that the name obviously matches the name that you put in the system prompt, so the voice AI agent knows when to reach out to this tool to retrieve additional information. And in my case, like I said, whenever a customer asks anything related to the school community, I said to reach out to this school wisdom tool, and this thing I've given it a description saying use this tool to retrieve information about the school community. Very simple, very concise. You want to keep it as simple as possible. And in order to reach out to n8n, we're going to use this URL, which is going to be our webhook URL. The method is going to be post. So this webhook URL is pretty much, let me minimize this a little bit. All right, so the webhook URL there is this right here. So this is a webhook node. In order to interact with additional tools from the outside, n8n has this great tool called the webhook tool. And if you just click on add node and you search for webhook, so this is the trigger right here, right? So what I'm doing is basically, let me double click on this. So let me maximize this a little bit so I have more room. All right, so here the test URL versus production URL. So obviously if this is a production application, then you will just click on production URL, and the difference would be that this little test will disappear. So if I click on this, as you can see right here, the test went away. But if I click on test URL, it goes back to the webhook-test. So this is basically the URL that I'm copying and pasting it right here. That's it, right? So the method here is going to be HTTP post, again, same thing. And then I'm gonna come back and explain the rest of this here. So that's pretty much the configuration when it comes to this specific tool. Now in the bottom, so the tool in Voice AI Agent has multiple additional things that you can send as a payload to additional to third-party application, in our case n8n. So you can send headers. So if you wanted to send any kind of authentication, you can send headers in there. Path parameters, you don't have to worry about that much. Query parameters, so this is if you are defining some kind of a query. In my case, I have this identifier for my query parameter is request, and I'm going to explain why that's very important, because we need to be able to give the AI agent the ability to retrieve that information from this webhook and decide which tool to reach out to based on whatever's coming in. But this query parameter, again, this is just basically saying, hey, school community information request, because this tool specifically is for school community information. You also want to send body parameters. You want to describe the body parameters here, and I've said in a friendly way, confirm if the customer is asking about information related to joining the AI workshop school community. So that's basically the description of the body parameters. If you have a tool that uses a webhook, you have to have body parameters enabled, because you need to send that information back to the third party, in our case n8n. And you also need to identify what you're sending, right? And in my case, I'm just basically sending this data saying, hey, the identifier is customer is interested in joining the school community. Very, very simple, right? So you can add additional properties. If you want to send more body parameters, you can just click on add property and you can send more body parameters here. But I'm going to get rid of this for now. That's good enough, and cancel, and then you'll just save the changes. So the next tool is my get available slots. So here, let's go back to our prompt here. So here I'm saying that if you determine that the customer is leaning towards booking a free 30-minute consultation call, you can check the availability using the Get Available Slots tool. Again, I'm calling the tool right there from here. So make sure that your naming is correct. So I said Get Available Slots this has to match right here. So I'm giving this tool again, this is webhook again, get available slots, use this tool to check the availability for the requested date and time for the appointments, right? Very, very simple. Same thing as far as the method, it's going to be post, the URL is going to be the same thing. No headers, query parameters. I'm keeping the request the identifier as request, and I'm going to explain why, because we need to be able to identify the request that's coming in, regardless of which tool it's being sent from. Description, same thing. I'm saying check available times for appointments. The body parameters, I'm just sending a name and I'm not making this required. If you click on required, then your voice AI agent will ask this information before continuing with the process. All right, but in our case, this is good to go. Again, a lot of this information that I'm sharing, obviously there's a lot more to it. So that's why I said I've done that deep dives of topic for a reason, my school community. So if you get a little confused, just make sure you go there. It's like a 6 tutorial series that you can watch everything and it'll make more sense. Anyway, so book meeting, same thing. I am just sending additional body parameters right here, same, but as far as information, it's the same thing. I'm sending the requested date of the appointment, email of the customer, just like you saw, time and phone number as well. Okay, so those are all the tools. And you can see on the top here, I've said, once you've agreed upon a time to meet, you can use the book meeting to book a call. Once the booking is confirmed, let the customer know that they'll receive an email with the details of the scheduled call, right? So you're always making sure that the system prompt you're providing is pretty crystal clear. All right, so now let's switch to our n8n here and see what happens here. So as you can see, our main webhook obviously is coming in from the information is coming in from our voice AI agent from ElevenLabs directly to our webhook here. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, there you go. So let's jump into this webhook. So inside this webhook, as you can see, the authentication, I've set it as none. Path, you can define. The response, this is very important. You want to make sure that you're using this use respond to webhook note, because we need to be able to send this information back to our voice AI agent, right? And as you can see, this is the information that's coming in. So this is the JSON view. You got all this header coming in. You have params, you have the query. So that was the query that we defined earlier. The request is book a consultation call, right? The body, and here's all that information that we're sending on the body parameter from our voice AI agent. As you can see, the date of the appointment, the email, time, phone number, and name of the person requesting the information or requesting the appointment. So once that information is coming in, now we're connecting this thing to our AI agent. This AI agent has the ability to grab all of this information from our webhook here. So the user request, that's the query, right? The request is book a consultation call. The body, so this is the information that's coming in via the body parameter when the user is requesting for an appointment, right? So that's why I put this or sign, this two little slashes or these things, which basically means that if the information doesn't exist or if the information wasn't provided, then it shouldn't throw an error. But if it does, you will basically absorbing that information. So the system prompt, again, this is just basically giving it all of, just like a regular AI agent from n8n is. If you have not familiar with that, please make sure you watch my other videos that I explain exactly how to do all these. But inside this AI agent, I'm just saying you're a customer support agent designed to handle various tasks efficiently. Your primary role, so you're giving it a primary role. And then I'm also saying you have access to multiple tools like the availability. Use this tool to check available times for appointments, the appointments, vector store tool. Use this tool to retrieve information about anything related to the school community. So this is where we're giving this AI agent inside n8n that instruction when to use this tool. Same thing I'm saying use Google Sheet, use this tool to store customers' contact information, right? Because we want to retrieve and store our contact information for our customers in case we need to reach out and do more things. But in general, it's always good to keep your customers' contact information for further use case in the future. SERP API, I'm just giving this tool. We didn't use that here, but you can always give this the SERP API tool to be able to retrieve information if the customer is asking something related to a event that's real time. Anyway, so that's kind of like the overall system prompt right here. So once that's done, pretty much you are done from there. I'm attaching an OpenAI model. I'm doing GPT-4 mini. The tool is, the SERP API here, the appointments, same thing when the appointment is being created. So you can add this Google Calendar as a tool, which will give you the ability to use this from AI functionality to be able to pull information directly from the request here, or directly from the nodes that are coming in from previously. All right, so that's the appointment tool. Availability, same thing. We're just giving it the availability calendar, or our Google Calendar here, to check if there's time slots available for our requested time. And in our case, it was able to correctly identify initially when I asked it, hey, is there time available for me to book a consultation at 11? It said no, because it had access to this availability or Google Calendar tool to retrieve that information and send it back to the user. Google Sheets, same thing. I'm just using this from AI function to grab the name, the email, and the phone number of the customer that's coming in. So that's pretty much it. And then obviously our vector store tool. So this is just, I inserted a bunch of information about AI workshop by, let me go ahead and show you that, by simply adding this Google Drive to download this, and I'm sending this information to this vector store, Pinecone vector store database, where I'm inserting that document about the frequently asked questions about my AI workshop agency. So all of that is inserted, and then we are just basically adding a vector store retriever tool here to access all of that information that's sitting inside our Pinecone vector database. So once all of this is done, we're using this respond to webhook to send this information back to our voice AI agent. So here I am basically saying respond to webhook. So this is a node that n8n has. I'm saying respond with the JSON below. Here, all I'm doing is sending the status information back to our voice AI agent, and I'm stringifying the information that's coming in from our AI agent output in the previous node. This is very important, so just you can copy and paste this, or you can just use ChatGPT or Claude to tell you how to stringify, meaning that to remove some of these special characters, so that way you don't run into an error. This is one way. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean it's the best way to do it. You can always add additional nodes. So here you can add a set node to clean the data that's coming in from your initial webhook. You can add another set node here to be able to clean the data that's coming from outside, or as an output of this AI agent, to send back to your voice AI agent to ElevenLabs. So there's multiple things you could do. And then obviously you can also add additional tools here. So let's say if you have a contacts database that you want to retrieve information from, or if you have a CRM database to be able to add the information that's coming in from voice AI agent. So there's a lot of things you can do here. So that's what makes this thing very, very powerful. And like I said, in my case, I'm just showcasing, the whole point of this is to showcase the ability for this voice AI agent from ElevenLabs to send information back to n8n, and n8n stores that information or retrieves that information via this AI agent, sends information back, and you can have this natural conversation with the customer that can do multiple things, right? So on the next tab here, the voice, obviously I'm using Jarvis. This is just for demo purposes. Obviously you don't want to clone somebody's voice that you don't have the rights to have access to. Again, this is just for demo purposes. I'm a huge fan of Jarvis, and I created the Jarvis voice agent in my other video that was very popular, so that's why I just kept it here. But you can obviously add voices that are inside ElevenLabs. You can clone your own voice, or you can do whatever you want. So Flash here, this is their new recommended model for low latency. It just means that it can have really natural conversation and fast conversation. However, I haven't really tested this to see if this works really well with tools, but we can obviously, you can always test those things out. TTS output format, so this is just the 16,000 hertz. This is good enough, but if you want to play around with the other ones, you obviously can, but it will probably cost more, because obviously the more powerful the output format is, the more credits you're going to use. Pronunciation, you can even add pronunciation dictionaries on how to pronounce certain replacement for AI agents, or a replacement for this agent responses. Again, feel free to play around with that. You can add files there for a dictionary. Don't worry about these things. You know, if you're cloning a voice, this is where you can adjust those parameters there. Analysis, this is also another very important and powerful tool. You can actually collect data from this interaction that this voice agent has with the customer by providing the identifiers. So let's say if you wanted to provide, grab the name and the email of that customer during this interaction. You can certainly do that here. You can even have an evaluation criteria where you can customize and evaluate the conversation that this voice AI agent is having with your customers or for whatever use cases, and then you can retrieve that later on. Once I build more powerful AI agents, because I'm planning to build more with this, I will definitely utilize these different tabs that are here. Security and advanced, again, this is for kind of more complex AI agents that you want to build. And obviously when I work with clients and build customized voice agents for them, this is where a lot of times I utilize these things based on the process that they need. The widget tab right here, so this is where you can embed this widget right here on your website. You can customize the look and feel of this. You can, the appearance here, you can have a different background color. You can change the look and feel of this little avatar right here. You can even attach a picture if you want, but this one, for example, you can attach the colors here, change the colors. You can even add the text contacts here. Like for example, here it says need help, start a call. You can actually change all of this depending on what your use case is, right? So there's a lot you can do here, but I'm going to go ahead and clear this because I don't need to change anything. And the only thing you need to do is they provide you this nice little code. All you have to do is just copy this, paste it on your website, or then you can have this little widget that will pop up, and it will be very powerful as far as how it can interact and give your business the ability to, have this natural conversation with this AI agent. And again, depending on what your use case is, you can really build very customized versions of this for businesses or even for your own personal website or personal portfolios. All right, so one thing I want to point out, this is still a bit expensive. As you can see in the bottom, it says in development calls are billed at rate of 500 credits per minute. I'm pretty sure these guys gonna lower this because right now this is expensive compared to something like a VAPI, but I would imagine as this thing becomes better and better, as this moves out of the beta phase, they will be able to reduce this credit to be cheaper because they want to make sure they want to stay competitive. So I'm pretty sure they're going to reduce that amount, and they might add more tools, they might add more abilities for this voice agent, because again, the future of AI agents is definitely voice AI agents, because you want to have that ability to naturally conversate with these agents to retrieve information and make it more and more powerful. All right, well, hopefully you found this helpful. All these prompts from the voice AI agent and then also the agents right here, the workflows are all inside the the classroom section. So all you have to do is just go ahead and there in the deep dive topics, just grab, click on each AI agent or each tutorial, and the bottom you can scroll down and the resources right here, it says n8n AI agent in JSON file. All you have to do is just download that, import it to your workflow, and you'll be able to basically build on top of this or make changes to make sure that it meets your needs. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe, because I've got some really great tutorials that are upcoming. You want to make sure you don't miss that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.